Alright, we are looking at lesson 79 today. 69. Pre-cal is doing 79 this afternoon. We're looking at trapezoids and kites. Yes. What does a trapezoid look like? It's got two bases, and then it's got some sides. The two bases have to be parallel. Does that make sense? Okay, so the bases of a trapezoid are the two parallel sides. Oh, Paige, if you want to move that stuff, if it's in your way, the blue thing, you can move it. You can just set it on the green folder on my desk. The legs of the trapezoid are the two non-parallel sides. What is this? A leg or a base? Leg. Okay, what is this one? A base, and a leg. Does that make sense? Okay. Mid-segment of a trapezoid. Have we heard of a mid-segment before?
No.
A triangle mid-segment? It's the same concept, just now in a trapezoid instead of a triangle. The segment whose endpoints are the midpoints of the legs of the trapezoid. It only goes to the legs. You can't have a mid-segment of the bases. Okay, only to the legs. So looking at theorem 69.1, the mid-segment is parallel to the bases, just like the mid-segment of a triangle is parallel to the base of the triangle. And the mid-segment for the trapezoid is half of the sum of the bases. Do what? Okay. So it tells us QR is the mid-segment. Yes, 39 and 27 are the lengths of the two bases. Any ideas how we'd find the length of QR? Add them up, divide by 2. So what would you get? Any questions here? Make sense? Okay. These are properties that are specific for isosceles trapezoids. What is an isosceles trapezoid? These two legs are going to be equal. So the base angles of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. Where are the base angles? Those two. Does that make sense? All right. The diagonals of an isosceles trapezoid are also congruent. Yes. Which angle would you start by finding? Q, R, S, or T? Well, they already gave us R, so not that one. Which one would you start by finding? Q? Okay, what would it be? What about S or T? They both have to be 75? How do we know that they're 75? Because why? 180 minus 105. If I draw this out, well, what are these two angles? Same side interior. They're supplementary. Does that make sense? You see how that works? Or you could say, how many angles are in a trapezoid altogether? Yeah, 360. So 360 minus 105, and then divide by 2. Does that make sense? Either one, okay? All right, so looking at another example. You remember that quadratic formula video from last year? That's what she's watching. Oh, I'm sure she could hear me singing too, because I'm wearing the microphone in that. Yeah. Huh? Well, I use the word sing, but I don't know that you would really call it singing. YouTube quadratic formula pop goes the weasel, and it's very annoying.
But you made it?
No, I didn't make it.
Too late.
Gosh, I'm not gonna. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure. I told them we weren't gonna stop doing it until they stopped singing. Alright, so y'all know what the length of JM would be? This whole thing is 82.8. This part is 45.2. So we're supposed to find this amount. What is that equal to? HM. You see how that works? And so what did you say it was? 30. You see how that works? Any questions here? Okay. Property of a kite. The diagonals are perpendicular. What other quadrilateral do we know that has perpendicular diagonals? A square? What else? Not a rectangle. A rhombus. I told you, I think I've told y'all before, well, that's not a very pretty rhombus.
Beautiful.
But if you take this side and you like pull it down, that's how you make the kite. Does that make sense? And the diagonals, the short diagonal is cut in half, but the long diagonal is not. Does that make sense? Okay. So see if you can find the lengths of the sides of the kite, and it says to the nearest 10. To what? Yes, 19, 7, and 6. Will someone go write one of the side lengths, like write which side you're putting up there, and then write what it is? Go ahead, Brian.
With an N.
Yes. Do you agree? Okay, someone go put another side length up. Do you agree? Okay, someone go put another side length up. Hmm?
Should I just do that?
Yeah. Do you agree? Okay, someone put up the last side length.
Oh,
Go ahead.
there you go.
Is that right? Are these two always going to be concurrent? Are these two always going to be congruent? If it tells you a kite, that is true. Does that make sense? Any questions there? Okay. Looking at the last example. They're making a trapezoid coffee table because I don't know, because I want to use a trapezoid basically, or square maybe. I don't know.
I thought a coffee table was like circular and like dinner table was square.
I don't know. I know which fork you use when you eat, but I don't know furniture etiquette. Like what to call it.
There's something like the big fork I use is too big for them to eat, so they have a salad fork. And they're going turkey.
Hi, Mallory. All right. 6.5, yes, and 5. What would be the length of OP? Okay, how would you figure it out? Right? You solve for it and you get 3.5. Does that make sense? Okay, how would you find that value? Like that? Yeah, if you can do that in your head, that's fine. No, that's fine. Any questions on mid-segments or trapezoids or kites? Do what? Any questions on these? None? Okay. All right, so go ahead and get a piece of paper out for your test corrections.